Welcome, Superhuman, to a solo episode. And the topic is birthdays and funerals. Now, you may think that that's a strange topic, Ria, but I thought it sounded nicer than births and deaths. And what inspired this topic today is it is my birthday month. Now, it's not always necessary to have a birthday month, and that doesn't mean that I've been celebrating all month. It just means that it is a period of time that we get to reflect and think about what the last year around the sun and next year has in store for us. And so it had me thinking that isn't it funny that we only tend to celebrate people when it's their birthday or when they die? Really, like when you think about when you celebrate your loved ones and their life and what they mean to you and how they've inspired you or made an impact in your life is on their birthday or when they die. I don't know. That's just something that I've just like, whoa. And yes, weddings and other celebrations, they're not all the time. Then maybe some may never wed or marry more than once, or there are other occasions. But really, when you think about it, the main time we celebrate people is when they're born, birthdays, death. And I started writing about it. So if I look down, it's because I've just got some notes. And then it made me think about two of the most traumatic experiences we go through for ourselves and those around us is birth and death. I know it's weird, but when I was thinking about when a woman being in labor, just the thought of that, and then the thought of me going through that freaks me out. And then I thought, well, hang on, how freaked out would the baby be? And it's not like they could communicate that. And then I thought, well, actually, they're squealing and crying and all those things. So they're freaking out. They're like, what the hell's going on as they're born? And yeah, it's traumatic, even though I don't know if some people may have memories of this. I have heard of instances where people have memories of that, and my earliest memories aren't that young. Pretty young, but not that young. Maybe like 2 years old. Probably the earliest memory I have. Anyway, I digress. But I was just thinking, like, how scary is it for that new soul entering Earth and for the old soul exiting? So I believe that when a person dies, they don't actually pass alone. And whether you believe in God or angels or spirits, just like when we're born, there's support around us. And then I thought about my dad's passing. All of us there with him, like every minute, literally all taking shifts, not sleeping, and just being by his side until the very moment he passed. And we literally were there every moment till there was only a moment where we weren't. And that's when he decided to go, or he felt ready to go. And perhaps, knowing my dad, he wouldn't have wanted anyone to be in the room physically, so it makes sense. And then I had this visual of him being greeted, and I guess supported through that passing by his parents, who he'd lost by the time he was 8, and his beloved auntie and uncle, who basically raised him as their own, and he speaks so fondly of them, and his sister and his brothers and everybody that would have been greeting him on the other side, as we would say, and how overjoyed he would have been and they would have been to all be reunited once again after so long, or in no time. that's another conversation. But just thinking about that, and then it took me to a picture. This one's, I wish I could remember the artist's name, but it's a drawing of people's first moments in heaven, and it's absolutely stunning. The reunion that is captured, and the excited children running up to their parents and, you know, getting hugs, and just the embraces and the pure love and joy you can see on their faces captured by this artist in this drawing is just, it's absolutely stunning. And I'll try to find it so that I can share it on the Superhuman page when I by the time I post this. But yeah, it got me thinking about that, and it didn't, I don't know, it just makes that whole passing moment a little bit less sad, because we're the ones that are sad when we lose someone, not so much the one who may have been suffering or is now no longer in that position. So I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking back to babies. And there, you have heard, I've heard of stories, and if you haven't, there, I actually know one quite close to me, that a young child who remembers their previous life and their previous families and parents, and they're very confused as to why they're here and why they're not with their parents that they remember or their siblings, and quite confused, trying to figure out their purpose. And I mean, a lot of people, we're always trying to figure out our purpose throughout our entire lives, aren't we? But it's just really, really interesting. And when I look back now at some of the things that I've done, I've gone through in my life, I love linking the beautiful significance of how it has benefited me in experience, skills, and understanding. For example, when I finished high school, I did audio engineering, and I thought I was going to do it to create my own album, put my vocals on it, and everything could be all rosy. And then I realized it was actually a lot harder, or perhaps more so, put way too much pressure on myself to be original, and not perhaps feeling good enough, that I kind of shelved that dream. But it has now served me in the aspects of being able to deliver this podcast, and also these sound journeys and experiences that I now am able to do in the current time. So yeah, it's just something about birthdays that just gets you really thinking about the whole spectrum of life that we've experienced, and perhaps even starting to think about the legacy we want to leave. And I guess that brings me to dying. You know, I always thought it was quite common to be around death and people passing, because I had been around since I was young, like a child, really. And so I thought it was quite common until I met people that hadn't experienced any death, or any death close to them anyway. And thought, I've been around a lot of death. I wonder why, like, what was that supposed to teach me? And then I realized that being able to understand and have deep empathy for those who need the consoling at that time, you know, there's some solace in feeling someone who really understands what you're going through. And I think that is always a connection that those grieving, I've been able to connect with, because we just know, it's a knowing that I understand. And it sucks, it's sad, and everything's going to be okay. You know, it's just going to take time. So I get it. Like I can understand now why I had gone through that, and how it's been able to help other people, and how in now in recent years, you know, being able to harness some would call medium abilities, to help be a vessel of communication and healing and closure for some people who just, yeah, need that. It's been a really beautiful experience. um and I guess going back to thinking about funerals, funerals are such a sad experience overall. um and I have maybe I am a little bit more desensitized to it, I suppose, because I try to view it more as a celebration of their life, as opposed to the devastation of their death. And the sad thing I do find about it, I mean, obviously I hate seeing people just broken, the sadness, but that's tough. Like, you feel that as someone who's an empath, I feel so much. But when I thought about funerals, and I was taking notes, I was just thinking about how how sad it is that we really only learn more about a person when they die. I've been to so many funerals and I've left there going, man, I didn't even know that about them, or I can't believe that they did that. That's incredible. I had no idea. I've learned so much about people only when they died at their funeral. And I guess that's part of their celebration. I mean, we're not to know everything about everyone. And I guess we don't have to share everything about ourselves to everybody. There are those closest to us who will get the special privileges of knowing more deeper information about us and nuances of our personality. But then there are some things, it's like, why don't people share that? Why is that not more common knowledge? Or how do I find out more? And then I think about how people feel when their past loved ones die. And there's a lot of regret. Regret is prevalent. Should have done this, should have done that. Whether it's the person who's passed, or whether it's, their passing, or it's your loved one's passing, and then you're feeling regret for time wasted. And it's like, well, yeah, it really is important to cherish the moment, to be present with whoever you're with and where you're at that time. Like, I'm being present with you right now. And even if you're listening to this, doesn't matter when, just know that I'm truly present in this moment as I, speak to you right now about what I feel is an important topic. And then there's birthdays. Let's go back to birthdays. So my birthday was on the 7th. So 7/11 or 11/7, depending on where you're at in the world. And I think it's a time to remind those you love and care about that you do appreciate them. Whether it's your birthday, whether it's their birthday. I think the most meaningful messages and wishes you receive are from those who take the time, like truly take the time to let you know how much you mean to them. And even on a somewhat acquaintance, superficial side, I actually still really appreciate those who I don't know entirely well, but have still taken the time to say happy birthday, even if it's just posting on my wall. So that's why I always make the time to thank people when they post. So I think an important symbol of our love is time. We all know that time is our greatest currency. And as I said, even it doesn't matter on what scale, the ones who give you a call or the ones who send you a text or DM or write on your wall, they've still taken the time to remember you and to say, hey, I remember you, happy birthday, hope you have a good day. That's cool. And I hope that people appreciate that I literally will go and reply to every single message, because if they've taken the time, I'm happy to take the time. And when it's their birthday, I reciprocate. And even if they don't reciprocate, like, it doesn't matter. I'm always happy to let people know that I'm thinking about them and appreciate them and hope they're well. It's all it really is. Just kindness, man. Love and kindness. So yeah. So there were lots of things I was thinking about. So birthdays, all these thoughts that come to mind. And then you think, wow, the ones who call you, the ones who arrange to see you, the ones who celebrate you, those are your people. The ones who make the time for you and vice versa. Who will be at your funeral? How do you want to be remembered? And did you manage to do all you possibly can in alignment with your destiny by that final day? Please hear me. Don't be afraid. Share how you feel with those closest to you. Tell them what they mean to you or what you love most about them. Your fondest memories shared together, at the very least, every birthday. Don't let the most you say be the day they pass away. So birthdays and funerals, they're a celebration in my eyes. A commemoration of souls born, living, and souls past. So even if you feel like you're not where you're meant to be, with these words in this moment, I assure you, you are exactly where you're meant to be. But it's also up to you to ensure you live to your potential. We're here to experience life and all the senses that accompany it, the good and the not so good. Can't really. Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't read my writing. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. And so it is. So I hope you've enjoyed my little spiel and just my outward inward thought of what I've been thinking about this last month. And then to tie it all in, so today being the 29th that I'm recording this, I wrote this on the 10th, that those notes anyway. And, a lot of it I've also talked, in the present as well and elaborated upon. So it's had time to sprout from seed. And so today, the 29th, is actually also the memory of a rescue kitty that my wife and I had adopted only for a short period of time 4 years ago. So back in 2019, we had this beautiful rescue kitty named Ashton, sweet little boy. And he was a very troubled, clearly had some trauma, wasn't in a good place. And we did our very best to give him the best life, all the love that he deserved, and the nursing, as we thought we were nursing him back to good health and happiness, and he'd play, and it's only a little kitten. And unfortunately, he just got severely ill really quickly with an incurable virus, FIV, feline virus, and that was it. It was really, really traumatic, sad, very sudden. And that little guy has just been a little spirit animal ever since. It's so interesting that such a short interaction, was only living with us for a few months, has really left a lasting imprint on our lives. And we still got pictures of him around and his ashes. And yeah, it doesn't matter how long a soul is in your life for, or if it's a quick interaction, they can really leave a lasting imprint. So it's just a reminder to love and appreciate the moment, and just, yeah, make this your best moment, make this your best day, and live your life the best you can each and every day. So having said that, I guess I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. Did any of this strike true? Do you think about these things too around your birthday, or am I just having a no, I don't know. I think we all think about these things around our birthday, but hey, look, tell me I'm crazy too. But I just think that we need to celebrate our lives a little bit more than just once a year, and then when it's time to go. I know in this time where there's social media and there's all these things, there are more ways that we can let people know about us, but then at the same time, so many are trying to exercise their right to remain private. So then they're the ones that you're only going to learn about when they die, so interesting times. But what you want to do, it's live your life your way and be remembered the way you want to be remembered now and forever. So on that note, strengthen your mind, body, and soul muscles, superhuman, and stay amazing. I'll see you in the next one. And please remember to subscribe, follow channels, and yeah, keep in touch. Let me know what you want to speak more about. That's what I'm here for. So see you in the next one.